Hey there, Gillette Fantasy Football League. It is your Commissioner, Jeff Perry, and we are here for the Week 10 edition of the GFFL Power Rankings. Okay, guys, Week 9 was a hard-fought week for many people. Had very little movement as far as the playoffs go. But I want to address the playoff scenario first and foremost, really quickly. We all know that Victoria's Secret, Shooter McGavin, and Rock Sox are a lock for the playoffs, so we won't get deep into that. I know last time we talked about the number 4 ranking for the playoffs, or the number 4 seed for the playoffs, and definitely Cole has that pretty much locked down. But even having said that, 3 weeks left in the regular season, and Cole's magic number is still 2. So Cole needs 2 wins to guarantee a playoff win, or he needs 2 losses from Ryan, or a combination of one or the other, as Ryan is currently 2 games back and is the only one that can touch Cole. Of course, the rest of the league is in heavy competition for the sticker on the back glass of their windshield. Second, I want to point out a couple key matchups this week. Of course, we got Rock Sox taking on Cole, and that's the number 3 and 4 seeds coming into the playoffs currently, and that's also where they will end up in our power rankings this week. And then the second one on the other side of the spectrum, we got a couple 3 and 6 teams in fracking gas holes, and in Peter's team, which is now has a new team name. We'll address that here in a second. Key matchup there that again, like I said, in many weeks before, could have implications for that sticker dressing on the back of their truck. But last but not least, let's get into the power rankings. And coming in at number 10, we have a new team name for Peter, and it is MATCA, which stands for Make America's Team Great Again. And this is a new name for these guys. I think this is the 3rd or 4th name they've had this year, which definitely is indication of a weak-ass team. And really, I think Peter should be more worried about his team than he should about America's team, because last time I checked, the boys were doing just fine, sitting atop the NFC, looking to go for that championship this year. Good luck, Cowboys. We love you. I wish I could say that Peter's latest poor performance was attributed to the massive bye week that the NFL bestowed upon us in Week 9. However, it is simply due to a team that has failed to get started all season long. With only a few glimmers of hope all year, this team has been looking toward next year's draft, for several weeks now, if not basically since the last draft just finished. Of course, he is still dangerously close to the ultimate diss in the form of a large window sticker on his Ram pickup, and he draws another 3 and 6 team in Week 10 to see where he will end up in that race. I can't really fault Peter for his lineup moves as of late. However, his lineup is still weak AF, and if I remember right, I called him out on this about 10 weeks ago. Speaking of weak-ass teams, coming in at number 9, we have Joey. And Joey's team is just as bad, and even though he can blame a lot of his Week 9 troubles on the bye week and a devastating injury to what appears to be his lead running back, this team is just another one that just can't take the heat and competition that the GFFL has afforded itself this year. I would like to take a little bit of credit for the competition bestowed upon us, as we cut this team in league. But either way, some people are not cutting the mustard this year. You can see it as we have 5 weak-ass teams, or we just have a lot of competition and a lot of 5 really great teams. Either way, Joey will look to rebound against Victoria's Secret squad, who will have its full arsenal available to himself in Week 10. Coming in at number 8, we got Wiley's Coyotes, and you know what? Honestly, this late in the season, it is hard to find hope for any of the teams in the bottom 5, or even highlight a key performance or targeted waiver wire pickup. However, I can honestly say that I was cussing old Dustin Lissy come Thursday morning as he get the best of me, probably for the 4th or 5th time this year, on his higher waiver priority, and his team seems to be looking in the right places to repair itself. However, with so many broken pieces and an array of mediocrity across all fronts, he is destined to only hope for a good luck to finish the rest of the season and distance himself from that last place in the final 3 weeks of the season. I don't think he is going to be able to do that in Week 10 as he draws a powerful McGavin this week. All right, coming in at number 7, we have Team Hillary. And I might remind you, as I am broadcasting to you on Election Day 2016. I also want to remind you to vote today, and hopefully Team Hillary will look about as good as Kramer's Team Hillary has looked this year in the Gillette Fantasy Football League. And as you were probably thinking to yourself on Thursday night after Mike Evans went off on Atlanta's D, old Kramer might pull the upset on Cole. I know Cole was, peeing his pants. He was texting me. He was freaked out. But you might have been dead wrong. As Kramer's team basically showed his true colors come Sunday and choked with a horrible performance by the majority of his team. In fact, his kicker led all scorers, excluding Dak Prescott Sunday afternoon. And in this league, that is not going to cut it. Hillary takes on RBLM in Week 10, and he better find a way to knock off Ryan, or his Chevy 250 may be looking pretty in pink. Coming in at number 6, we got fracking gas holes. And the gas holes are able to breathe a sigh of relief this week after they notched their 3rd win of the year in Week 9 and have a remaining schedule that doesn't really look too bad. However, this team is still feeling the hangover of what was thought by the owner of this team to be a lockdown draft, but only served as a reminder that running backs mean consistency and consistent production, while heavy-weighted wide receiver crews only afford your style on certain Sundays. Oh, and the Gassos put another RB on the IR this week, and Harris in San Francisco can only last so long. Coming in at number 5, we have running back Lives Matter, and this is basically the only team left with the losing record who also has a slim shot at the playoffs, and that is RBLM. They notched their 4th win of the year this past week to set them apart from the rest of the trash pack at the bottom of the league, and this is keeping a glimmer of hope at making the playoffs for Ryan. They need to keep up the win streak this week or pray for a killer losing streak by Cole in the final weeks of the season to have a fighting chance of locking up that number 4 seed. All right, coming in at number 4, we have the Poth Punishers. And the Punishers are slipping one spot this week into the Power Rankings into the rightful 4th place spot. Also, I might remind you that I had them sitting in the number 4 spot in the Power Rankings to start the year. So another spot on prediction by yours truly. And although Cole is putting up some solid, consistent numbers, I still feel he lacks the knockout punch he may need, especially if he has to take on the number 1 seed to start the playoffs in Week 13. Having said that, he did make quick work of Team Hillary this weekend and has strung together 3 to 4 weeks of solid performances, leading on some old fantasy names like Forte, Gore, and Wallace, while mixing in some up-and-coming stuns like Hilton and Gurley. The Vikings D is slipping in the last few weeks, and it might be time for Cole to look elsewhere except for the easy matchups they would have during the playoff weeks. Coming in at number 3, we have the Rocks Hawks, and Rockies is bumping up a notch this week, and he, like the rest of the teams left to come in the Power Rankings, is a lock for the playoffs. However, even though he went for the knockout punch this past week while Victoria's Secret was on a horrible bye week, he did so with just a few standout players and a whole handful of duds. Names like Stewart and Nunwa and Newton need to step up their game if Rocky has hopes to advance to the championship. Coming in at number 2, we have Shooter McGavin. And what can I say about Shooter? Shooter has it going on, and he's got it going strong. And with another stylish victory in Week 9. Rodgers is doing his thing in Green Bay, and Elliott is still in the running for Rookie of the Year, if not a downright MVP of the league. Gronk is back in Week 10, and Ingram looks to have his starting role back in New Orleans. However, Shooter may be worried about the Broncos D, especially considering their tough matchups starting in Weeks 13 through 16. Coming in at number 1 in the Week 10 Power Rankings is Victoria's Secret. And, even though it was a tough Week 9 for Victoria's Secret in what is being called by many the most horrific bye week in fantasy football history, Victoria's Secret still found a way to outscore most of the league and put up some really decent numbers thanks to a monster day from Jason Witten and another standout performance from his quarterback. Although Victoria's Secret still has a tough schedule to close the regular season, I really can't see him slipping past the number 2 seed heading into the playoffs. He has 2 top 10 Ds to choose from. David Johnson is proving to be the most valuable player in fantasy football, and AJ Green and Tyler Eifert are sure to make an incredible splash down the stretch in Cincinnati. All right, League, there you have it. There is your Week 10 Power Rankings. I'm about to go vote, and then I am going to get on a plane and head to Mexico in the morning. So, bon voyage. Good luck to all of y'all starting on Thursday for week 10. And we will see how things pan out. I'll see you in a couple of weeks for our playoff edition of the Power Rankings and my predictions and odds for winning the league, and then also winning that sticker, the week before week 12. So tune in for that. We'll see you in a few weeks.